Hey there, it's Tara Sage. Technology wasn't cooperating a moment ago, so I'm doing another take. So hello, tips from Tara. Welcome to those who are joining. This is Tara Sage of tarasagecoaching.com, devoted to helping you live your dreams and create a life and business that you don't need a vacation from. So welcome to those who are joining. I am in Tennessee today. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here, and I'm so glad to be outside making this video for you today. So hello. Today's topic, I'll dive right in just a moment, but just want to say, for those who've been watching the Nomadic Living 6-video series that I did with Carl, he sends his regards, and you know, he won't be making appearances very often anymore in this series. You've got Just Moi, Tips from Tara returns. If you want to see more of what's happening with the Nomadic Living piece, then come on over to our Facebook group. All are welcome. It is Nomadic Living 101 is the name of our group. So come on over there, and you might even see Carl in some of those videos. So join us. So today's topic is, what if I don't know what I want? And, you know, how do you create a life that you love if you don't know what you want? So those who are joining, if you could let me know that you can hear me, that would be super helpful. I'm outside and I want to be sure the connection is clear. So it can be a pickle, creating a life you love if you're not sure what you want. What do you want? Almost went into a little rap song of what you want, right? What do you want? So it's a big misconception that I only coach with people who already know exactly what they want. In fact, discovering what you want is often the hardest part of the process. So I invite you, if you've got some questions for yourself, open up to that. We're going to dive into that question here. So what if I don't know what I want? Here's the first thing I'm going to say to you. You do know. You do know. You know. Or rather, a part of you knows, namely your heart. Your heart knows what you want. Your heart knows what you want. But what often happens is that rather than using your heart, your logical, strategic, critical thinking mind, to help you figure out the things that your heart wants, what often happens is that your brain is being used in a way where it's actually unwelcomed and premature. That it's shutting down and criticizing and logicking and asking questions like, well, is that realistic? And that's really not relevant. So it's not at that moment, at least. So in terms of tuning into what you want, it's in your heart. So that's where that lives, and that's where you've got to start having this conversation. So if you're struggling with knowing what you want, you are more than likely using your extraordinary mental capacity, your intellectual resources, in a way that is logicking out of what your heart is telling you it wants, instead of using your intellect as a support to figure out how to create what the wisdom of your heart and the longing of your soul is telling you it wants. So if the brain is getting priority treatment, that's something to look at. How do you flip it? You begin to really converse and listen to the messages of your heart. And that is a process. It's learning how to connect with and honor and acknowledge those longings first. So, message number one is, you do know what you want. Your heart knows, but you may not be in full communication with your heart. So, in fact, let me say too, no one knows the answer to this question better than you. No one. You are indisputably the leading expert on the question, what do you want? What do you want? You are the leading expert on the answer to the question, what do you want? So know that first. No. I mean, how could anyone else know better than you do what you want? They can't, is the answer. They can't. So by default, you are the leading expert on the topic. So it's about connecting with your heart and allowing yourself to know what your heart knows about what you want. So I'm going to share a personal story real quick. My freshman year of college, I had a really good friend who was a senior who I looked up to very much at the time, very wise soul, and he really challenged me in some ways that I welcomed. And he would ask me, what do you want? And I was a freshman and I had more questions than answers, as freshmen often do. And I said, you know what? I really don't know. I really don't know. And I believed that. I knew that to be my truth, is that I don't know what I want. And I said that to him, and he said, well, I get it. I get it, Tara. You don't know. But if you did know, what would the answer be? That's the question he said to me. And again, such a wise soul. I felt so validated first in him saying, Tara, I get it. You don't know what you want. And then he came in with, but if you did know, what would it be? And a funny thing happened for me in that moment. I instantly knew. It's like his way of asking circumnavigated my objections and my belief that I didn't know. So that's a question I'll extend to you, is if you feel like you don't know, I get it, I hear you. But if you did know, what would it be? Okay. So that's my, that's my lead in, I guess. I've got 3 cues and 2 keys for you to journal out your heart's desires and to help you connect to that part of you that absolutely knows what you want and is the leading expert on this question. So I'm going to start with the 2 keys. The 2 keys are, key number 1 is, before you begin the journaling process of exploring the 3 questions that I'm going to share with you, give yourself permission to play. Just decide that you have permission to play. So, remember play? Kids know how to do this. Kids know how to play, and you were a kid once. So, give yourself permission to play. And what that means is let your imagination lead here and decide going into it that you will give yourself permission to do that. Number 2 is, don't go down the how hole, okay? Don't go down the how hole. How is that logical brain that wants to figure it all out before it gives you permission to envision and allow yourself to hear your heart. So when that voice speaks while you're doing this exercise, which it more than likely will, simply say, I hear you, thank you for sharing, and then go back to the space where you're allowed to imagine, regardless of whether you know how. So don't buy into the story that you need to know how. Don't go down the how hole, okay? That's key number 2. How comes later. How comes later? What comes first? Defining what you want comes before how. You figure it out later, okay? So the 3 questions that you journal to open up this connection with your heart. Number 1, if you had all the love and all the money that you could ever want, how would you live? That's question number 1. Write that down for a journaling session later. If you had all the love and all the money you could ever want, how would you live? Question number 2. If you could script your life to be unreasonably phenomenal, how would it go? So again, if you could script your life to be unreasonably phenomenal, how would it go? And question number 3, if you knew you could not fail, what would you do? If you knew you could not fail, what would you do? How would you live? How would you show up in the world? What causes would you be working towards? You can add all kinds of additional versions of that question. But if you knew you could not fail, what would you do? So those are the 3 cues that I strongly encourage you to journal out and connect, to help you connect with the part of you that absolutely does know what you want. Now, one more tip. If you are still not sure what you want after doing all of that, try approaching it from an alternative angle. So think of the people that you envy or admire. Think of the people that you envy or admire. What is it about their life that you envy or admire? Is it their job? Is it their lack of job? Is it their home? Is it their family? Is it their creative hobbies? Is it their fitness level? Is it their travel excursions and way of living in the world? What is it? What is it that you envy or admire about other people? So that's one additional angle or avenue or approach that can be very revealing in terms of connecting with the longings of your heart. So there you go. You got 2 keys, 3 cues, and one more additional alternative angle to make this connection with your heart. So I want to hear how that goes for you. But before we go, I also want to speak to that follow-up piece, which is how, right? So don't go down the how hole while you're in the phase of connecting and getting clear on your answers to these questions. But afterwards, you're probably going to be pretty eager to get moving on figuring out how to make it happen. That's the natural progression of the creative process. So once you know what you want, figuring out how is the obvious next step, right? So what I've found is that often the dreams and longings of your heart may feel really big. They may feel really far-fetched. Excuse me one second. They may feel even impossible. Now, I want to share 2 beliefs that I hold absolutely true. I know them to be true. Is that number 1, a desire would not be felt if the universe couldn't provide it. I believe that. I believe that. I know that with everything in my soul. A desire would not be felt if the universe couldn't provide it. So that means if you feel it, it's possible. Gosh darn it, whether you believe it or not. The second piece of that I want to offer is that even 1% possible means it ceases to be impossible. Isn't that wonderful news? So when a client and I are working together and they're like, oh, this is not going to happen, it is so unrealistic and this is so impossible, one of the things I might ask them is it even 1% possible that this could happen? Even just 1%. And if they get to a place where they're like, yeah, well, okay, there's a little slice of possibility, there's just maybe 1%, then I say, yay. It has ceased to be impossible. Just because there's 1% possibility and you feel that that's true, then hooray, this opens up the space of possibility. Only 1%, that's all it takes to be out of the realm of the impossible. Hooray. So once you've determined that, hey, you know what, it's not impossible, let's now move into the how. So this is what my coaching programs are all about, whether private coaching or group coaching or programs, all kinds of things that I've been creating over these last 13 years. So if you would like to learn more about the one-to-one, if you would like to learn more about programs, some of them are one-to-one, again, some of them are group, but I'd love to connect with you one-to-one and really explore that together. So as my gift to you, if you're feeling connected to this message, if you're feeling connected to me and the way that I deliver it, then let's chat. This is my gift to you. I have no attachment to any outcome. I just really love to connect with people from my community, and then from there we'll see if it's the right fit. If it is, great. If it's not, I'm going to help you find a resource that is a better fit for you. So if you'd like to take me up on that, go to sessionwithtara.com. sessionwithtara.com. fill out the little scheduling form, easy breezy, and you'll be on my calendar. Ta-da! Isn't that wonderful? So I hope this is connected for you. Thanks for watching. And I see people there. I haven't been super engaging because I've been like so in the what I want to tell you about it. So I'd love to hear what connected for you. What questions are you going to ask yourself? Are you taking on this journaling exercise? If you are, give a thumbs up. Let me know that you're willing to take this on and dig deeper and really build that strong connection between you and your heart's desires. That's where it all begins. Then your brain can kick in and you can get all smarty pants on how to figure it out, and we can team up together on that if you'd like. So great to connect with you. Love to you from this beautiful, beautiful day here in Tennessee. The weather is just, I love it. So much love. Thanks for watching. Reach out, sessionwithtara.com. Bye.